Hello, folks. How are you doing? My name is Millie. Welcome to the UK Games Expo Twitch. Joining me today is Kate up above me, our marketing manager. And then up here above the wonderful little social update is Becky from Eclectic Games.
Hello, world.
Hello, world, indeed. How are you doing, folks?
Generally good. Today is a work from home day rather than a work in the shop day, which oddly enough actually makes Zoom meetings a lot easier, although does increase the chance of occasional cat on the keyboard issues.
That's okay. The internet loves cats. The internet loves cats. So just so everybody knows what we're going to get up to today, we're going to have a chat with Becky here about Eclectic Games, the whole life story and everything that's coming into the shop this weekend. And then after Becky has updated us, we're going to have a chat with Richard about the latest updates for Virtually Expo. We'll be here for around about 2 hours or so today, maybe a little bit longer if everybody in chat asks lots and lots of questions. So if you like our faces, keep chatting. But welcome, Becky. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's from home and everything, so it's I guess it's a little bit difficult or different zooming from home and then thinking about work, isn't it?
It's one of the joys of being a small business owner that it's really actually quite difficult to switch off from work because you keep going, oh, I could have this idea and just do this thing, and oh, I should check my phone and check my email because someone might have asked a question and I don't want to be slow responding. And a lot of my staff have been trying to tell me, no, if it's a day off, don't check the email. I'm bad at this. I'm noticeably bad at this. But yeah, it's home is packed nearly as full of games as the shop is. It just has a ton more books and vastly more yarn for knitting, because that's my I am not working guilty pleasure, as it were. I knit because it mostly has nothing to do with games. That's what is my off thing, as it were.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful! I've got some crochet just behind us as well, so it seems like it's a popular event. So Eclectic Games has been around for how long now?
We had our 14th birthday just before lockdown, so we opened in March 2006. And
gosh, congratulations! That's an amazing anniversary.
Yep. The game stores that get past 3 years often stick around.
Mm-hmm.
The first 3 years are usually where all the kind of infant mortality of game stores kicks in. It's here are the things that can kill you quite easily, and it usually involves not having enough capital or not fully understanding what your numbers are, or occasionally having wildly unrealistic expectations of how much you can sell of stuff. But that one is less of an issue than just not having enough basic capital. My very first customer through the door has moved away up into the black hole that is London, but he still comes back and actually makes at least once a year, turns up and visits friends in Reading, and he is still an ongoing customer. And we certainly have regulars who have been with us for 10 years comfortably. I have actually ended up employing about 4 or 5 of my ex-regulars at various points as they went from, I am in my late teens at school and college and playing Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever with you, and I'm now entering the job market. What can I do? Welcome to retail. So
that's very cool.
Gone through several of those.
So yep. Just let everybody know where Eclectic Games is. You mentioned Reading there. Give us like the how to get to Eclectic.
We are in Reading Town Centre. We are in Union Street, which is also charmingly known as Smelly Alley, because it had fishmongers and butchers and greengrocers And everyone thinks that this is why it is, but it actually comes from about the 1400s, where it was an open sewer between the two main roads of then Reading.
Wow.
However, if you turn up in Reading and ask a local, where's Union Street, they won't have a clue. If you go, where's Smelly Alley, they'll point it out to you. We are literally between the town's two main shopping streets, Broad Street, which is the pedestrianised one, which has the entrances to John Lewis and the Oracle, and Friar Street, which is the one that you really shouldn't be trying to drive down at the moment because they've just turned it into a red route. Oh. So it's been fun for deliveries, let's say.
but you're right.
Fun that are yes,
right in the middle of town, nice and easy to get to. Everybody can sort of get a local direction, or Google Maps will be able to get you to Union Street, no problem.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Excellent.
And we are literally halfway down it, right in the middle. These days, there is a sensible marking from our local council, which goes traffic up one side and down the other with a white line in the middle, which is good because the pedestrianised alley is about 2.5 meters wide, 3 meters wide. So it's a bit awkward for the whole distancing thing. But that said, people have been very good about it and are mostly managing to travel in the correct direction that the arrows indicate, which those of you who are convention veterans will know just how awesome this is. It really is.
Awesome. And are you have you adjusted your opening hours? Can you let us know, like, now we know where to find you, when can we come and see you?
We are doing 5 days a week, so Monday and Tuesday and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because at the moment there are 2 staff working, although I'm going to be bringing a third back off furlough part-time from next week. This gives us enough time that people can come in and shop, but because we are not restarting in-store events yet, we don't need the extra hours that we would normally do. Prior to all this, we were 7 days a week and late nights till 11, Monday through Saturday, and Sunday through Friday. Saturdays were supposed to be my night off.
Yeah. Having been in the gaming event sphere previously, I know that Saturdays are not always the night off you planned, especially when you ran Magic tournaments. I've seen some Game of Thrones tournaments there on your Facebook page, so you run all these big events.
Essentially, if we sell it and you can play it in a format that fits about 2 people to 3 to 5 feet square, we support it as a minimum. We don't do the huge wargaming, so no Armada, not much full-scale Warhammer, but board games, card games, minis games, role-playing. If we sell it, we are providing a community and a space for people to play when it is safe to do so, which is the key bit, because I like my customers. I want to keep them safe and happy. And if this means going, no, I can't keep you safe in this yet, I'm not going to reopen until I can. Which is really hard at this time, because there is nothing we want more than to have our community back, because everyone is feeling horribly lonely. And while Roll20, Tabletop Simulator, any of the other things are reasonable substitutes because you have to, it's not the same thing at all. And people are so happy just to be able to come back into store and see us and talk to us, that they are really, really going, I can't wait to see everybody else again.
So did you open again at the weekend? Have you been open kind of so over the past couple of weeks, or is there a big day coming?
History of Eclectic in lockdown was 23rd of March, lockdown, right. well, we've got a website and I can still go into the store while it's locked up and I can package things up and we can sell through the website. So then we limped along like that for a while. And then we got to, yay, click and collect, at which point we got some people actually coming and collecting the things they bought through the website. And then we finally did the reopen, having completely redone how the shop floor worked on the 15th of June when non-essential retail could reopen. And now we're looking at what it will take to safely reopen gaming spaces in some form, which I don't expect to happen until the way we're set up, probably mid-August at the earliest for a controlled test of things where we can appropriately socially distance and so on. I have a lot of confidence in my customer base being able to follow the rules and actually wanting to keep us and each other safe. I just also have a number of vulnerable and extremely vulnerable people on my staff, and I am taking zero risks with their health.
That's
it's a matter of priorities, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's wonderful to know you've been open for so long, for 14 years, and you've developed this relationship with your local community that it sounds truly that they've become more than just your regular customers. They are honestly your friends and your loved ones. And I can appreciate how hard it must be to be so far away from them, yet so close through Roll20 and that kind of stuff. Do you want to say hi to any of those folks? Do you want to name check them? Everybody likes hearing their names on Twitch streams and social media, don't they?
They do. There's an old adage that names sell newspapers, and it translates to the digital quite well. So people that are due specific shout-outs for being absolutely awesome. JT, James Traherne, is fantastic. He's amongst other things, including special effects maestro, he is very good with carpentry and building things, and we've taken advantage of the lockdown to have him build us a new display unit for the front of the shop. Ooh. So that is in progress. Mitch is going to really be cursing at me for totally forgetting his surname, but he's Tyrannosaur, and he's managed to set up a YouTube painting channel over the course of lockdown. And that has hit 200 subscribers recently, and you should all go and watch it if you have any interest in painting scenery. He's amazing. He has this technique for cobblestones that you are going to want. You really are. I'm going to give a shout out to my staff member, Alex Grant, who is my operations assistant and is possibly the only member of staff that I couldn't have furloughed, because he's been doing all the back office stuff to do with the guidelines for how we operate. Nilo, as my store manager and back office manager, has been the one who has thrown everything up on the website. So if you've been able to buy it, it's down to Nilo and Alex mostly. The customers who have generally kept us remarkably cheerful. I am going to shout out to my dungeon master, Rich Croton, who has been running an old school feel 5th edition RPG for me and some friends over the course of lockdown, and my little gnome wizard has had a blast. She's recently got Fireball. She's had some sensible targets to use it for, and I've managed to get swallowed by a giant frog at least once and create a bonfire in its belly with a cantrip to get stuff out.
Oh my goodness.
Sound amazing bunch of folks there. That's phenomenal, and that it's cool to hear that you've taken some of the time in the sort of lockdown to make adjustments. You've getting a new display case in the window. I saw on your Facebook page a very bespoke product for these times.
I am going to model. The sound will go muffled for a moment.
These are cool, by the way. This is genius. We love this.
Look at this. This is
ladies and gentlemen, the Eclectic Games face mask. So you can play Pandemic in a pandemic and be safe.
That's phenomenal.
Good heavy-duty cotton, branded logo, and aluminium flexible nose strip to make a decent seal around the bridge, because as a glasses wearer, I really, really need not to have all the breath going upwards because it's warm, and instead downwards because otherwise I can't see a thing.
Richard has just pointed out that if you are planning any robberies in this marvellous piece of geek chic, possibly better to use something more generic. But if you want to stand out, definitely Eclectic Games face mask.
It's truly unique. It really did give me a good chuckle when I saw it on your page. I know we're thinking and we've got to make some adjustments about what we can do in stores and to play games. What sort of games have you supported? What sort of, like, if we were to, before current events and when the new normal gets back, so what sort of things are we going to turn up and play on a Friday night? What sort of stuff goes on at Eclectic Games?
Friday night gets you your regular Friday night Magic, but also all the board games in the world, because I think one of the joys of lockdown is that we had enough time to at least start going through the 2,000 odd title games library and going,
wow,
what do we want to keep accessible? What can we store away and go, this is by planned appointment only, and why do I have 3 copies of this? Maybe I can hold 2 of them or something. And when did we get one of those? Did we get how? What? Why? There's been 1 or 2 of those that are, I didn't know we had this. Did you know we have this? No. Okay. We have this. They're mostly some of the more obscure kids titles that people have gone, I'll send you a demo copy, and we've looked at it and gone, this doesn't hold up to some of the stuff we're actually supporting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then we've not actually moved it on. It's sat in the games library. It's overdue a spring clean. But,
so
yeah.
Plenty of board gaming on the go all the time. Things like, did I see you Yu-Gi-Oh and things as well?
Yep. We are using Magic as our test bed. We are working out how to do remote play for all our card games over our shop Discord server.
Oh, nice.
There's a link on our Facebook page if people want to join that. If I were more technically with it, I would have had this to throw the link into our comments, but never mind.
Well, up on screen now, we've got links to your website and your Twitter and your Facebook page, so folks can head over there, and then later on this afternoon you can share and people can come and have a good look.
Right.
We'll have a little write-up after this, so any contacts that's going to be shared for Eclectic, you can find those on the UK Games Expo homepage.
There we go, Kate's on it.
So yes, we had a successful at-home pre-release for Magic 2021 with people playing in little round-robin pods at home using their mobile phones and the Discord video chat function and the voice channels, and that was successful. So we're going to try and set this up for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would very much like to do something for the Keyforge release that's kicking off on Friday, because Mass Mutation comes out on Friday.
Are you a big Keyforge fan? Is that one of your favourites?
Yeah, Keyforge is great. Keyforge scratches my, I really like collectible blind buy, but without the, and I've got to buy so many boosters to get stuff, or I have to go through all the buy singles and all the rest of it. There was an episode in my end of school before university where I was supporting my friendly local game store in Kingston at the time, and the set was Fallen Empires. And over the course of that summer, I think I spent something between £1,000 and £1,200 on Magic cards, as I had a good summer holidays job at a local solicitor's doing something that was probably terribly tedious, but actually paid quite well. And you know what the sad thing was? I did not end up with a complete set of Fallen Empires despite this, because of all the alternate arts and because I was buying them at 3 or 4 boosters at a time rather than a full box. And, and after that, I came to the conclusion that I shouldn't be trusted anywhere near blind. So,
but Keyforge scratches that itch with the exciting. Have you got any funny name decks? That's one of the things I think is.
I do, but I don't tend to remember the names. I tend to remember them by this is the one that plays this way, this is the one that plays the other. But Eclectic itself has some nice decks because there was a promotion that Fantasy Flight were running that game stores could get their names on their own Keyforge decks.
Wow.
Yes. Actually, I do have an awesome one, which I think Kate might have to fight me for, because it's called The Woman Who Holds UKGE.
See, I'll swap you that for a copy of one of our UK Games Expo Keyforge decks, because they are very cool. So yes, we'll do a deal afterwards, Becky. That'll be cool.
But there's Mass Mutation is coming out is it next week?
Friday. It's out on Friday. Fantasy Flight have beautifully standardized their release dates. All new Fantasy Flight product that has a release date releases on a Friday.
Oh, excellent. Just in time to come down and
simple and makes everything easy to go. When should this be out on my shelves? So yeah. That will be Friday. I think it's gone up on the website, so if you've pre-ordered it, it will ship on Thursday to arrive with you on Friday.
Oh, excellent.
And other than that, we will be trying to put together a effectively sealed tournament for it over Discord some point in the next, 2 weeks or so, probably.
We've had a nice comment on the chat actually saying that Eclectic Games website is really easy to navigate. So thank you, people, for having a look at the website already. But yes, 2 thumbs way up.
Really, really good, because it's actually ancient and creaky and getting an overhaul that will enhance its ability to navigate. I think one of the key things it's going to do is change the search function so that it will search titles and tags, but not the entire body text of the game description, because you have no idea how many things say dungeon in it which don't actually have that in the title. So that at least is one of the overhauls that's coming, but I'm glad it's clear. That's definitely good to know.
The 2-player search function is apparently one of the best bits.
Yes. That's been something that's been very evident over lockdown. We've sold a ton of jigsaw puzzles, we've sold a ton of 2-player games, and we've sold a ton of cooperative games. And that tells you what people are using gaming for in these conditions, which is friendly social interaction where they have control over things. Because it's a big and scary world out there, and there doesn't appear to be a lot of sensible, strong hand on the tiller kind of thing going on. So yeah, we haven't seen the surge in kind of 10-player werewolf party games. Frankly reassuring, because if we had, I'd be worried about who was breaking lockdown.
What has been the most popular kind of top 2 or 3 games, just off the top of your head?
Takenoko has gone incredibly well. I think we must have had the last stock of Race for the Galaxy in the country, because we sold all 6 copies within about 2 weeks. We have sold a lot of the Cosmos exit games and Space Cowboys Unlock. Jigsaw puzzles have been going absolutely. There's a wonderful series from Schmidt, which is Disney characters painted by Thomas Kincaid, the one who's got the nickname of Painter of Light. And we managed to keep pretty much all of those in stock, and those are going wonderfully. And we've sold a lot of Arkham Horror living card game cooperative packs. time to sit down and play through the scenarios. So
I've still got the unopened starter set on my shelf over there. I have downloaded the rules and read them. I just haven't opened the box and actually given it a go. So we briefly touched on Keyforge arriving soon. What of the new releases? What things are coming out this week that has got you excited about? What can we socially distance queue up outside to get? What's your hot picks?
Santa Monica from AG, which is a really, really nice tableau and landscape building game that has been quite hotly anticipated. You're building your beachfront for your small town in California, and you could go for the highly commercialized and touristy, or the completely natural and beautiful, or something in the middle. So that one's come in.
So that one, what's that? Santa Monica?
Santa Monica, published by AEG.
AEG, nice, okay.
Alderac Entertainment group, I think it was.
Yeah.
Of previously of Legend of the Five Rings fame before they sold it.
I think I had they do the big black box games, don't they? I got one of them that you open it up and surprise, it's got trains in, and we were really excited. I remember that coming out. But
yep.
Santa Monica. Okay, I'll have a look for that. What next? What else should we be?
Papillon, which is a game of absolute beauty. They have these amazing little butterfly garden plants that you actually put butterflies onto, and this is going to look awesome on your tabletop. This is a nice worker placement sort of resource gathering. You're going after nectar and trying to get the best nectar for your butterflies, but it is just a thing of total beauty on there. And other than that, we've had a hot restock of the Cartographers game, which is not a roll and write because there's no dice involved, but a card and write, whereby you're turning over cards from the deck to go, how am I building my kingdom this way? And I was introduced to it year and a bit back when I was over in the States. And the guy who introduced me to it had a really awesome house rule, which is if you pull a monster card and you are playing the monster, you have to draw the monster on.
That's brilliant.
You have to draw the monster. Nice.
That's just an extra little thing that goes, I'm putting this awkward thing here that will prevent your development, but look, I've drawn all these tiny goblins, or this giant dragon, or whatever. And Cartographers is great. I'm very keen on that one as an ongoing. So yeah.
Sounds cool. As a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I'm always up for more map drawing. Are there some sort of I know every store is unique in that they have games that they love. What is always the most exciting one for the staff? Is there a genre that Eclectic gets a little bit excited about when they see that on the new release sheets?
It actually depends on the staff member, because one of the things I look for in how I staff my shop is making sure I have staff that appreciate every different thing we sell.
It's very wise.
So my Games Workshop focused staff member at the moment is frothing at the mouth over Indomitus.
Yep.
I am going Keyforge, bounce, bounce, bounce. Nilo tends to like the heavier weight Euro style games. There's nothing he's particularly waiting for at the moment, but he's also got a sideline in both Pokemon and Arkham Horror living card games. So there's enough coming out that keeps him going. Oh yes, there's a new Arkham pack this week. It's called Blob That Ate Everything.
Oh, okay.
And that will be popular without doubt. We have Alex is keen on strong thematic games, so he's the one who will play things like Star Wars Outer Rim or Hellas or all sorts of things, actually. When Everdell and Wingspan come back in stock, which they will do soon, those are going to sell and sell and sell, because those are staff favourites across 3 or 4 of us, and everyone enthuses madly. And oddly enough, the low-key kids range, which is Yellow's kids imprints, those have been doing awesomely well. SOS Dino for saving your dinosaurs from lava, because this is awesome. Farmini, which is an introduction to the concepts of tile placement a la Carcassonne, but does it in a much better way than my first Carcassonne. And Troll and Dragon, which is a ridiculous, frantic dice rolling thing about collecting treasure from the lairs of monsters. And these have been going really well for us over lockdown, because it turns out when you're stuck at home with kids all the time, you kind of want games you can play with them that don't cause your brains to dribble out your ears. So we're very, very keen on this range as a ongoing thing. We are going to be continuing to support them and recommend them.
It doesn't indeed sound like amongst you all you are very eclectic. It's a very well-picked name for your game store.
It does kind of form a business mission statement, because eclectic is defined as choosing the best from a variety of sources, and games is fairly obvious. And honestly, when we picked it, it was, this is really clever, this works, plus it's also in the first half of the alphabet before Games Workshop. In those days, a phone directory was actually a thing, and you would run down the line of things on a paper phone directory, and therefore, I mean, this is why you see so many AAA1 cars kind of thing, because that puts you at the head of alphabetically sorted search lists. Less of a problem these days.
So it started as a little cheeky jump to the front of the phone book, but then literally became the business mission of your store. You evolved into being truly eclectic as well.
I think we set it up as an aspiration and have worked really hard to keep living up to it, because there were other names considered based on our location or based on various other things, but this one hit the right marketing thing. One of the things we did, which wasn't as common back when we started, was we set up as a brand rather than as Becky and Daryl's Game Store, because the point was that Eclectic Games should be, and we were really aiming high here, like John Lewis. You know, you can walk into John Lewis and get the level of service and the level of quality, and this brand stands for a whole load of things. We wanted Eclectic Games to be able to do that in our customers' minds. It was also important that people know that Becky and Daryl are behind the counter, or Nilo or Alex, or you talk to Zoe about Pokemon, or Dawn about GW. But it was, you should be interacting with and have a relationship with the brand as well as the people. Because otherwise, if you go on holiday, then you've just taken away part of the point of your business.
And your shop physically reflects this.
Yeah.
So I remember walking to Eclectic Games in Reading, and it was the first time I'd walked into a game shop that didn't have and this is very old school game shop now, but my growing up with it was like slightly manky carpet, and everything was a little bit sticky. And Eclectic Games, it's all wooden floors and consistent shelving, and it's all very good, and it's light and it's airy. Walked in, and this is big smiling hello from whoever was there. It's like, oh, this is terrific. This is a really good experience. That was some years ago now.
Yeah. Was that when you came up when we had a Dalek visiting?
Yes. You also had a Dalek, and that was the coolest thing since, actually having Daleks. No, there wasn't anything cooler at that point. The Dalek was awesome.
Yeah. The point of all that is that gamers will find a game shop wherever. You can put it behind doors, put up beware of the leopard signs, and they will come. They will come, they will find you, they will get things you want. If you want to grow as a business and actually be successful, you have to reach beyond the gamers to the not yet gamers, which is generally the way I look at the general public, because there's games for absolutely everyone. There really, really are. You name a topic, there's a fun game to play with it. And if you don't set your store up such that the general public can walk in and feel comfortable, then you are missing out on a huge chunk of potential customers. And this is why I'm so utterly thrilled by people like Ravensburger doing really good licensed games. Villainous, yes. Villainous was an absolute awesome bestseller at Christmas last year and continues to be. And we've got the Cruella de Vil and Pete from Steamboat Willie and Mother Gothel expansion in, and that is going great guns. But the point is, everyone knows Disney. Everyone knows Jurassic Park. Everyone knows these kinds of things. And it's much easier to walk in and go, oh, I recognize this, rather than going, I don't know what I'm looking at. This can't be for me.
And it's good things like, so game adjacent people will come in and they'll see the franchise or the thing. It's like, I must have everything Harry Potter. I have to have everything Marvel. And all of a sudden you've recruited gamers, which is terrific. And that's what we want. I mean, it's lovely playing with old friends, but tell people about games, tell people about gaming, get them to come along to your friendly local game shop. You know? Absolutely.
And your friendly local game shop has to be both friendly and a games shop. Not a, here is where all the mates hang out and talk their cliquey. I mean, do you know what a Grixis deck is? You probably do. Your average person wandering in, no clue. And we do try very hard to be, anybody can walk in and have something they can see. It's why we put Jigsaws and Monopoly and so on up the front. And the D&D books are all the way at the back, because the people that want to go to the D&D books want to then spend 20 minutes looking through them to go, do I like this adventure? Are the monsters working well for this? Is this a good thing? And if you have that right at the front of your store, you're going to put people off coming in, because people don't like pushing past people. It doesn't matter what environment. We've got a personal space thing, more so these days. But yeah.
No, that's very good. That's very well thought out in kind of the flow of your shop, looking at people's needs, looking at customer needs. That's a massive thing to consider.
Anyone that is watching this and going, I'm trying to get retail tips, the two books that I really, really recommend to people are Why We Buy by Paco Underhill and Worth Every Penny by Erin, and I'm going to have to put her name in the letter to you afterwards, but that one is how to do boutique retail rather than mass online retail. It's tailored to charging what things are worth, because that is one of the requirements of having a town centre store with high rent, high business rates, high quality fixtures and fittings, decent pay for your staff, enough staff that you have redundancy for if one of them is on holiday and one of them is sick, because otherwise you don't open. This kind of thing tends to guide our, this is why we sell at recommended retail price. And that's the debate I have most often with people who think they know how I should run my business better. Why don't you sell at discount? You'd sell more things. Have you heard of the term operating margin? Do you know what it is? No? Come back and talk to me when you've read up on this. I don't have time to educate you.
And it's also the value. It's also the value of the thing, because let's face it, people, we're buying cardboard and paper and maybe some funky looking plastic, but getting the latest release of the things, or getting the new version of what it is, or finding a re-release of an old thing, that's terrific. So it has value to us, not because, oh, well, you're just charging the cardboard, but because this is something that's telling a story. This is something that we are sharing with other people. This is something which is a shared language between people. So you can turn up, and I've seen this at the Expo where you have nerds chatting about stuff, and it's this and this, and someone will look around and go, oh, we did that, but then we did this. And someone said, oh my goodness, what about that thing where, you know, and that's a massively, you can buy it, but you also have to work at it. That's the thing. That's why it has the value.
The other thing we do, which I tend not to shout about enough, because to me it's just the basis of good customer service, is we know our product inside and out, and we recommend. We will match the right game to the right people and go, you're looking for this thing, here are some options, tell me what you like about these, tell me what you don't. If we were a shoe shop, you'd come out with the best fitting shoes any day.
Awesome.
As we're a game shop, we do it with board games instead. But this is why we get repeat custom. This is why we have customers coming back to us. This is still something we can do in lockdown, even without the ability to try it out in the games library, because essentially our lockdown customers are getting a personal shopper experience of coming into the store, and we will go and find them the games and talk to them about them and so on, and it will be at the counter, show them off to you, and we are getting a lot more conversions in terms of people coming in and walking out having bought games than we would on a general normal shopping day, because people are interacting with us. All my customers who really enjoy spending half an hour to 3 parts of an hour just looking at the entire wall of unpainted D&D Nolz's miniatures are a bit
very nice
off, because they can't do that at the moment, because the way the shop is laid out, we can't socially distance properly, and quarantining stock is just a total nightmare. But everyone else that is doing the come in, talk to us, go, I need a new game, what's out, what's this kind of thing, we are actually selling reasonably well at the moment. It's not up to pre-lockdown levels, and it's not going to be a profitable year, but I think we're surviving at the moment. And as long as our customers want us to be there, and every evidence I have of them walking in the door says, yes, they do, please, yes, please, then we should be okay. And we've developed a whole new following of web customers. It turns out that there's a whole load of gamers in Southern Ireland of Ira that are quite good at using a service called Parcel Motel, whereby you order from the UK, it gets delivered to Parcel Motel, and then they ship it across the border. And having discovered our website and gone, oh, they can manage this, and it turns up on time for the first order, they've evidently told their friends, you can get them this way, and we've had a flurry of orders for there. So that's really great.
Wicked.
It's great to see that both sides of your operation are, whilst not rammed and manic, are nicely kind of operating and ticking along. Just give us a shout out, because we're running out of time right now. It's been a pleasure, absolutely awesome talking to you. Just give us a shout out. Just tell folks where they can find you on the old interwebs.
So we are www.eclecticgames.co.uk, which I'm hoping Kate is frantically typing into chat or something.
No, we've got it. Millie has got a setup thing where she...
Yeah, if you type !guest, it will it'll pop up. There we go.
Yeah. It's magic.
Magic preparations. You've also got a Facebook page. I've seen some lovely videos and things on there. And
we have a Discord server which is linked from our Facebook page, and we will be very happy to chat to you about games on there. That's where we've been doing all our Magic tournaments over the course of the lockdown. Wizards have provided a Friday Night Magic at Home promotion, which we've been running weekly. So that's been through there. And look out for Keyforge some point in the next 2 weeks, I hope.
I'm sure you won't be quiet about it, Becky. You seem very excited. But yeah, it's been lovely chatting with you. We're going to take a couple of minutes comfort break, and then after that we'll be back with